Yes, welcome once again to Booze and Barbecue, the only podcast with a salvage title. I am your host, Andy. Joining me is the ubiquitous Cory Ann. Coy just got home from Nevada, so he's going to be watching along. Our guest couldn't make it tonight, and so she graciously stepped in. How are you doing, hon?
I'm good. I have surprises for you. I'm taking over the show.
You do have surprises for me. It's kind of shocking. Like everything was themed around things that you either like or don't like. You realize that?
Really?
Yeah. That's the whole theme of today.
Okay. Well, there you go.
I don't know. I think we should just dive right into it. Maybe, normally Coy and I, we have a little bit of banter, but I'm pretty excited about the mystery beer of the week because that was your concoction.
Do you have your bottle opener?
You know what? I don't.
Okay,
I don't.
I'll be back.
Normally Coy just uses his teeth.
Well, yeah, I'm not a horse.
So thank you all for joining us today. I appreciate you. Hopefully you're having a mighty fine weekend and staying out of the heat and or cold. I know that there's weird weather going on in all different areas of the United States. It's bizarre. Okay. What do we got? What do we got?
For our listeners that don't remember, I was unsupervised in a really good bottle house and I bought a bunch of Andy's favorite beers. So yeah, our mystery beer today, everything is themed. Aha! Flounders.
Oh yeah.
Founders KBS.
Did you say flounders?
Yep. Look, I've been at the coast doing seafood all weekend. Give me a break.
Do you know what KBS stands for?
Killer, badass, and sensational.
It stands for Kentucky Bourbon Stout.
This
is part of their barrel-aged series.
That's freaking good. I know that. I've had this before. As soon as I saw it on the shelf, I was like, yep, going in the mystery box.
Absolutely. So this is an imperial stout.
Yes.
That is brewed with chocolate and coffee and
Yep.
aged in oak bourbon barrels.
So the theme for today is coffee and bourbon. If you didn't know, now you know. The more you know, the better you feel. The better you feel, the better you live. I don't know. I just made that up.
You were working it out.
I was working it out. I just didn't get there. Rolling around, chewing it up.
Yeah, you had a Michael Scott moment. Sometimes you just start talking and you don't know where it's going.
Yeah, pretty much. But I think you're going to like it. So flip it open, baby.
Want to take a guess? Well, you'll take a guess undoubtedly on the alcohol content once we get some in our glasses. But do you know offhand what this is?
12%.
Wow, the woman knows.
I know your beers, baby. I mean, I got a couple beers in the mystery box that are just for me. They're like sour beers and beers made with flowers. So I won't.
So what's the plan there? Coy and I are going to pop them open and be like, oh, okay, that's Cory Ann beer.
No, I'm not sharing. So for me.
So it's not all just for me. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Hey, cheers.
Cheers, darling. Oh, yeah.
That is a beautiful beer.
Big and thick. Way I like it.
Coy is actually jumping into the comments. Coy, are you upset that you're missing the KBS, my friend?
Yeah, it sucks to be you, dear. You're not here. So KBS.
What do you smell on this?
Okay.
Sorry for the dead air. We're both sticking our noses into it.
Definitely you smell a lot of roast and chocolate, like cocoa nibs.
Not so much of the bourbon on the smell, though.
That comes in the taste. But if anybody's ever had raw cocoa nibs or been to like a cocoa or coffee thing, kind of smells like light roast coffee. But if you go to like a chocolate factory, like Theo Chocolate in Seattle, if you're in the Northwest, the raw roasted cocoa nibs before they turn into chocolate, that's your big flavor, that aroma you get.
And Justin Bussell's joining us. Appreciate that, man. He's staying up past his bedtime for this.
Hey, Justin. But yeah, you're gonna get those chocolatey malts, lots of cocoa, lots of coffee, and finish with that bourbon on the back of your palate. It's got a nice, sweet, smooth finish. Oh, that's what she said.
Wow. We are off to a bang up start here. You know that? Which one is that? Let's see here.
I don't know.
I got one for you.
Hey, phrasing.
There it is.
Yes. And that is for Ryan. Just for you, Ryan. I'm trying to be like Coy. See, am I doing a good job?
You're doing great. You're doing great.
Those are big shoes to fill. I don't know what his boot budget is, but good Lord.
So the thing that we always say on this show, hun, is if it has a coffee flavor or coffee in it, it is a breakfast drink.
Oh, 100%. Like this would go amazing with pancakes.
Oh, and you know what I just remembered? This isn't Kentucky Bourbon Stout. It's Kentucky Breakfast Stout.
Yes.
Yeah.
Breakfast bourbon.
Yep. And actually, this beer spends a year in the barrel.
It should. All good things need to spend a year thinking about their life's choices. So what we've got here is an Imperial Stout brewed with massive amounts of coffee and chocolates, and then cave-aged in oak bourbon barrels for an entire year to make sure wonderful bourbon undertones come through in the finish, makes your taste buds squeal with delight. That's what she said. I get 2 with 1 beer. I'm impressed. I'm so impressed. So this beer was bottled February 11th, 2019. Yeah, you let me in, so deal with it. And it is 12.2%. I get a high five for being right.
Nice job.
So this was a good beer. And, you know, you can't go wrong with this. So anybody, founders, KBS, you know you want it.
All right, so moving on to our topics for the day. I had something happen to me last week that really just, it blew my mind. Okay, it blew my mind. So I saw this row of old shitbag Hondas, and they were all dumped. I mean, every single one of them, tires like this, on 15s. None of the body panels matched. They were all dirty, like classic Honda, like a car club or whatever, you know.
Where was this?
A couple of Acura Integras. It was here in our town.
Somebody did this on purpose?
Now, listen, they were all together. There was like 9-10 cars. So somebody is
I'll go into the pot shop. Got it.
They're putting like a meet together, no matter where it is that they're meeting. Here was the weird part for me.
Okay.
I was expecting a whole load of like high school age kids.
Okay.
As I'm driving past, it's a bunch of 40-year-old dudes.
What?
They all look like they've been to prison. They're all super rough looking. I mean, all of them had car seats in the back. It was just like,
they were going back to the time before they had felonies, like when they were 15.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The time before the felonies. That's a good way to, like, that's a really good measure of time. You realize that, you guys?
Well, you know, if you think about it, when do you stop mentally maturing? Probably right before you commit your first felony.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
So if they're 40-year-old dudes and they were like 90s, early Honda stuff, maybe early Acura Integra, like wasn't one of your first cars an Acura Integra?
Yeah, I had a second gen Acura Integra for a while.
And you were 16, 18 when you had it?
16, 17, 18, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right? Okay. So you got a bunch of 40-year-olds. You're not quite 40. You got a few more years on you before you do that. So yeah, these guys were like rocking the good times in the 90s, man. And that was before they started doing drugs, meth, weed, impregnated somebody, committed a felony to pay their child support. Yeah.
What do you think the odds are that they've had those cars since the high school days?
I'd say 2 out of the 12 probably have. It's been at their mom's house.
Right, while they were in prison.
Yes.
It was parked at their parents' house.
Yeah, probably didn't even have like the storage insurance on it. So if their mom fell asleep with a cigarette and burned the house down, their car would be screwed.
One of my favorite things, especially on Civic hatchbacks, is when right above the big fart can exhaust, it's black. So you know it's just burning oil like crazy. It's using oil as fast as the...
Not even good oil.
Well, why would you put good oil on something like that?
I don't know. Maybe they think it would run faster, just like the stickers that cover up the dents. It's got to go faster, right?
I haven't thought about sticker bombing a car for a long time.
You did it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Justin Bussell says those are the decent ones. You know, it's bad. You know, it's bad when the felons are riding mopeds. Yes, that is true.
Dude, I love the nickname Sugar Tits. What?
Nope, not high-fiving that.
Dang it.
Smokin Deal. Smokin Deal.
How many buttons are you pushing?
All of them.
Stop.
Well, producer Nick is out tonight as well. He's sick. So I have to do
the COVID. No, I don't know.
Well, hopefully he doesn't have the
God, I hope not.
No, he was just here.
Yeah. No, he's fine. It's just, you know, he's loud. So he's banned.
He's loud. Yeah.
His sick is loud. So he's in another room behind closed doors.
Yeah, exactly. Where we don't have proper Bluetooth connection. We got to figure out our remote studio. You know that.
Yeah, but he's on a lot of cold meds. Do you really want him messing with your studio?
No, I'd have to sanitize all the buttons.
Yeah.
Justin's gonna go ahead and high five you for that one, honey.
High five, Justin. Whoop, whoop.
No, I'm not liking this. I'm getting ganged up on.
That's what she said.
So hey, the title of this episode is Coffee, Booze, and Chocolate Starfish because you just came back from Astoria, right?
I did. Chocolate Starfish. That is my new favorite yoga pose. Chocolate Starfish. So I took my best girl, Debbie, and Debbie is the friend that we always try to like push the boundaries of our comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
And Debbie and I I got Debbie because of you.
Mm-hmm.
And you were friends with her husband first. And I got to know her. And then I said, this is mine. And so we like to do fun stuff and go places we've never been before, do things we've never been before. So we went ziplining.
Mm-hmm.
2.5 miles of ziplining in Astoria in the mountains. It was awesome. It was baller.
What was that like?
Amazing, life altering, soul freeing, like Tarzan screaming in the jungle epic. So Astoria has all kinds of fun stuff. It's where the Columbia meets the Pacific, all kinds of entropy happening there in the water. There's some fun distillery stuff. Get to that later. A couple of breweries, all the fun old canneries and things on the waterfront, big ships, big noise, but big mountains. Big mountains have big trees and lots of places to zip back and forth. Mm-hmm. So if you go to High Life Adventures in Astoria, I highly recommend it. We stayed at the cutest 100-year-old farm Airbnb. It's on a 400-acre cattle ranch. Amazeballs, great coffee. Again, with the theme. So we got a shift or got a group of us together at about 11 o'clock. It was mostly women. There were 2 dudes. And it was awesome.
Not that this is women themed. I mean, women can be there too.
Oh, women can be there too? How about men can be there too?
Men can be there too. That's what I meant.
The most hilarious instructional moment, he called himself Jake, but I don't think the instructor's name was Jake. But he said for one guy there, the other guy showed up an hour late. For the one guy there, make sure the furniture's in the front room when you're getting into your harness.
That's an easy way of saying that.
I was just like, dude, nice work. And he it was great. So, we do like less than 10 minutes of hiking to our first place. The first 4 zip lines are under 400 feet long, and you zip, and it's where you do your first one, kind of get it out of your system, do your major safety instructions. The second one is your Tarzan alley. So you kind of get your screams out of, so you get comfortable screaming and making noise. The next one, and a little bit higher of a hike, you grab sticks and rocks to fill up the pond, but it's essentially getting you comfortable with letting go of your tether strap. Right. And then the final one is Dead Man Alley. Literally dead man. You hang back like that. No hands, no feet. Trust your equipment.
Or at least they're trying to get you there.
Yeah, it's about 490 feet long, and that is your last of your bunny slopes.
I gotta tell you, that's pretty smart to have stuff set up where it acclimates people.
Yeah, they did a really good job. They had really great instructions, really great safety, really, really good guides. We had 2 guides. There was a big dude, and he goes first, and he's the one that controls your brakes. He's the muscle, because it does take a lot of muscle to stop us. There's a big guy there. And then it was everything from a real big dude to a tiny little Asian guy that showed up late, go figure. And they were really awesome. Like 50% of what he said was serious. The other 50% was hilarious. And you just do the exact opposite. And then your last 4 are big. So you go from 490 feet, boom, 980 feet. That's your next big slope.
How long does that last? 980 feet.
I don't know. It seemed long and short at the same time.
Well, you got to be doing, I don't know, 7 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour. You're not.
It was pretty fast. It was the second fastest one, but not the longest. But that's your first opportunity where you can start doing some fun moves and going upside down and doing your Running Man in the air. So that was just your first long one. The next one is, your opportunity where you're going over a lake. And one of them you go over a lake. And, you're never really hiking longer than 10 minutes. And so you kind of talk about, okay, what do you want to do in the lake? Do you want to do just like a butt slide through the water, a full dunk, maybe a hand drive? Well, I was really loving the dead guy because I was actually kind of sore from the mattress. So I was like, okay, I'm going to just do some stretching while I'm hanging in the air. So I was like, I'm going to do dead man through the lake. So get my hands and toes sliding, water spraying. It was pretty epic. I had a good time. I was a little soaked. And then you get to the other end and they have a guy dressed as Sasquatch right there. So you just get off. The one where you go through the lake is about 1,200 feet or maybe 1,100 feet. And then he's unhooking you. And the dude, we'll call him Jake. He's like, hey, do you like baby deer? There's a baby deer right there. And you turn around and there's a 6'8" guy dressed as Sasquatch. So of course, you're like, but then everybody gets photo shoots later. It was hilarious. And then you hike up and there's this tower where you hike up to the first level of the tower and then you go fly in, and that's your opportunity to kind of do some fun stuff. And then the next one is another hike up, but eventually your last one is over 1,200 feet long and it's a parallel one. You can either do a swing where you're on a 20-foot tether instead of a 2-foot tether and you hop off and you're swinging and it's like the most epic drop on a roller coaster, or you can do a race with your partner,
which is the one I would want to do.
Yeah. So I did the race with Debbie. So we're like running man, ballet poses, back slide, back swimming. I mean, just epic. And
I'm
it's
just
so
letting
much
you know
fun.
right now, when Coy and I do this, he and I are both just going to be like luge. I'll probably gain a little weight for it because I'm hoping that my extra weight will take me down it faster.
Well,
I'm just going to try to be aerodynamic.
Yeah.
I'll have to fold my beard down,
No.
tuck it into my shirt maybe.
Lovey, it's cannonball pose. Cannonball pose makes you go faster. You tuck your hands and feet up, tight little ball, zoom.
Really?
Yeah, cannonball pose. If your arms and legs are out, like a bat, you slow down. It was epic. It was so much fun. I also loved that at their headquarters where you check in and check out, there's a full bar and grill.
Oh man.
And
I would probably need some drinks before we start.
Dude.
And then afterwards.
I think it would be the best like bachelorette party, family reunion, guys trip, college reunion, whatever. It would be so much fun.
Hey, speaking of grilling, not to interrupt, Stephen Powell's here.
Hey Stephen, what's up?
Runs the Ugly Drum Smokers Texas. I highly recommend that group. Every time I see Stephen, I always go, oh, yep, got to talk about that on the show.
So Stephen, I need you to contact High Life Adventures in Astoria, Oregon, and get them to buy a large Ugly Drum smoker because they had nothing smoked on their menu. It was abysmal. I mean, they had like burgers and nachos and fries and hot dogs and, basics, but I didn't want to eat anything there. I mean, I could, but I just was like, whatever. I got homemade goat cheese back at the room. So
there are quite a few people in that group that are not just doing the 55-gallon drums. They're also doing 85s. And I want to say a dude recently in that group did 110-gallon drum.
Well, 110-gallon drum would be great because then they could do some brisket sandwiches.
Right.
And that I would have been all over. They had some local beers. They had some local spirits, which I brought some of them here.
Speaking of, you need to finish your beer off, by the way.
Okay. Whoa, that's a lot to swallow.
Hey, phrasing.
Sorry, I had to say it.
Cory Ann,
it was a big gulp and it was frothy.
Wow. I can't keep hitting the button over and over. Come on.
I'm trying to make
Here, get rid of that water because I do want to dive into this. So this is something that you got in Astoria.
Yeah, so we're in Astoria and I was thinking about you, I was missing you, even though it was a nice comfortable bed and I got to chocolate Starfish in the queen size bed by myself. That's fine. But I did miss my big snuggle teddy bear. I love you. So I knew that there was a distillery up there and that was the last place we hit.
I was right,
we
by the way. 110-gallon. Crazy.
Yeah. So
Justin, we do have a That's What She Said button on the Pardon My Fork show.
You needed That's What She Said here. I'll just
probably.
Keep saying
I'm out of buttons though. That's the problem.
I'm out of buttons.
Well, you push them all if I have too many.
We hit up a bunch of antique places, lots of nautical stuff because Astoria, as I said, is a major shipping port.
It's one of the older coastal towns in Oregon, isn't it?
Yeah, it was established. Look, Oregon became a state in 1859, but Fort Clatsop was like 1812. Let's see. Yeah. So Thomas Jefferson was president in 1809, 1811, something like that.
And then commissioned
Lewis
and
Clark to come through.
And they ended in Astoria.
Astoria. And
was that the establishment of Fort Clatsop?
Fort Clatsop was 1812, and they had the first American trade ships arrive in like 1839 or something like that.
Okay, so I have to pull this up.
And then
since Nick is not here, I have to do all of this myself, but I have to pull this up now because
you suffer.
When we were in Justin's asking if you visited the Goonies house.
I drove past, the Goonies house there's a whole Goonies tour in Astoria. So
the pirate ship's not still there, is it?
No, but like
it was for a while.
It was there for a while, but there's a whole Goonies tour, and you could go to like 12 different sites where you could check out the Goonies. There's like Goonies museums. The Goonies is a big deal in Astoria. We were more into antiques. I'll be honest. We were chicks unsupervised in Astoria with somewhat of a budget. Not really. But we
budget. That's funny. That's real funny. Budget.
But we didn't find anything we wanted. Also, we wanted to make a quilt over the weekend while we were gone. I mean, I'll just put my granny hand on. So we went ziplining, then we went back and made a quilt. So my best friend Debbie had found like her Pinterest video. She'd bought her fabric, cut her squares. We laid the quilt out, sewed it all together. The quilt was sewn together, the whole top of it, before we left. That was our big project because neither one of us have done a whole quilt together. So we just tried to team up and do it.
Well, listen, enough about the quote or the quilts. Don't care about the quilts.
Yeah, whatever.
Here's what I will tell you.
Your face.
When we were in Missouri, in Springfield. Yeah, we visited the big original Bass Pro Shop there.
Yeah, their world headquarters to the NRA museum there, which I could have spent hours there. They had one of the most fascinating things I've ever seen. Highly recommend it.
So check this out, you guys. They had Lewis and Clark's air rifle. Mm-hmm. And it's an air rifle, believe it or not. So this part down here, I think you can see nope, you can't see my mouse. If you can see my mouse here. So this part is actually an air tank. A really, really high capacity, high pressure air tank, by the way.
That's the whole stock.
But it takes forever to pump this thing up.
Yeah.
And they had to be careful when they were using it because it literally took forever to pump up. I mean, you'd spend a day pumping it up and there was a pump that came with it. But apparently you could shoot 35 full power shots out of this thing. And it actually shot it would shoot as hard as a regular rifle. It was a 50 cal. It would go through a 1-inch board. And it was air powered. It had 10 shots in it. And basically they took it along not only for hunting and whatnot, but also as a deterrent to any tribes that they ran across that might think that they could take them on. They had this thing that would shoot 10 shots, boom, 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 one after the other. and they literally would just pull it out. And although the guy at the Bass Pro Shop was telling us, who was it? Somebody put 60 rounds out of that thing, and it held virtually the same consistent power.
Was it
for all 60 shots?
One of our presidents, Theodore Roosevelt?
I think it was Grover
Cleveland.
Or something. Grover Cleveland had an affinity for rifles. He had an 8-gauge shotgun that he liked to use.
Of course he did.
8-gauge.
Why not?
I know nothing about Grover Cleveland except for he had iron shoulders. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? You're shooting an 8-gauge shotgun for fun? What is wrong with you?
Well, you're president. Why not? So
it's called a Girardoni.
So everything rifle. There's a bunch of Lewis and Clark stuff there. So we got to check out a bunch of memorials and monuments. And Fort Clatsop, we didn't make it. A lot of stuff's closed because of COVID. We went to the Astoria Column, which is closed. Normally you can climb the spire to the top and you can see for miles and miles, but we just checked it out. So the last place I wanted to go before we left town was this distillery. So this is brewed and distilled and bottled. The whole thing, kit and caboodle, is done in Astoria. So,
and actually, I feel bad for Coy that
I know. I got this for Coy. Coy, I'm so sorry you're suffering and not here because this is for you.
And this is by Pilot House Distilling in
Mhm.
Astoria, Oregon. This
Yep.
is called their Thunder Muck. It is a coffee liqueur.
It's pretty good.
Sorry, that's probably too far away for you guys to really see it, but it's 40% alcohol. It's
Mhm.
80 proof, so
Mhm.
it's a full strength
Mhm.
liqueur. Well, can you call it a liqueur? Are liqueurs normally full strength like that?
Yeah, why not?
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
why
cheers.
not? Liqueur is nebulous.
And by the way, we're drinking out of these glasses. If you want to learn more about these glasses, we're going to have the inventor of them on Pardon My Fork in a couple of weeks. These are called the Neat glasses.
NEAT, neat.
Yes, Neat. And they're used exclusively for basically like tasting competitions. And they, speaking of exclusivity, they're used exclusively by the Food and Beverage Magazine and by the Proof Awards.
Mhm.
And I'm not, we're going to talk about this a little bit on Pardon My Fork this coming week, but I actually got a chance to talk to Michelle Tell, who is the chairman of the Proof Awards, because they're back on for the year.
Whoa, they're going to do it?
Yeah, it was supposed to be in August. It was supposed to be, as a matter of fact, I think it's supposed to be last weekend.
Jeez.
But they moved it because of all the COVID stuff.
Ugh, COVID ruins all the good booze.
So now it's in December.
Of course
It is a non-attendance event.
That
They're
sucks.
only going to have 35 judges. That's it. No people through.
That's
The
too
judges
bad.
are all kind of stationed,
6
in
feet
their
apart.
own booths, 6 feet
Yeah.
apart and stuff like that. And then they've had to make all of these changes to accommodate for the COVID regulations when it comes to food and beverage. But they're kind of getting away with it because all of the judges are volunteers. Nobody's being paid. There's not the general populace walking around. You know, everything
sign
is
a waiver.
well, and everything's sanitary and all of that,
Well,
but it was nice being able to talk to her.
yeah.
As a matter of fact, it was it's kind of odd. I just I got the email saying, all right, we're back on. It's been moved to December. And I was like, really? Because almost everything had been canceled.
Right.
And
SEMA was canceled, which I was actually disappointed about. I wanted to see the new Mazda Miata. Dream car.
Yeah, I'm not happy at all that
I know, you're so
SEMA was canceled,
disappointed.
but
That's
the way
okay.
it is.
Look, we have the
Anyways,
flight credits. We're
hey,
going to go.
Hey, you're getting me off topic here.
That's not hard.
As Cory Ann continues to get more drunk, this is going to get more long-winded.
Whatever your face. This is good.
So I got the email saying it was back on, and Michelle had put her phone number at the bottom of the email. And so I just went ahead and called.
Personal number?
Turned out to be her cell phone number. She was like, I'm going to change that.
Yeah, that
real
was a
quick.
mistake. Mistakes have been made.
I doubt anyone else is going to call. I was just curious because I wanted to talk about it on Pardon My Fork. And
sure.
I called her up and we talked for quite a while. And then she told me about these neat glasses. And she told me that she could put me together with the engineer that designed them.
That's awesome.
Apparently it's an aerodynamic engineer.
Nice.
So
quick
rundown on these, you guys. They're designed to focus the flavonoids, and they're designed to dissipate the alcohol. And we tested this out with a notoriously spicy whiskey, didn't we?
Yes, we did. It's from Rogue Distillery, which is out on the coast, and
it's their Rolling Thunder stouted whiskey.
Their Rolling Thunder stouted whiskey. Yeah,
I mean, it's only 100 proof, but I don't know. It's just
hot.
It's hot, and man, the flavors are big too. So it was the funniest thing, honey. I poured a little bit into just a regular glass,
right? And I
poured a little bit into one of these.
Huge difference.
What was your first reaction?
Well, the alcohol, that burn in the back was less. So you got a lot more of that stout flavor. So for a background, the Rolling Thunder Stout is a stout that Rogue makes that we love. It's kind of a roasty, toasty, coffee, chocolatey malt.
And it's very seasonal. You can't get it all the time.
Exactly. And then once they empty out the stout that's aged in their whiskey barrels,
the Dead Guy.
So whiskey. They make their Dead Guy whiskey in these barrels. Then they put their stout in the Dead Guy whiskey to age it. When the stout's gone, then they put the stouted whiskey back in, and it gets this whole new level of complexity, a whole new level of flavor. It is an epic experience.
Yeah, it's like the glasses saying a whole new world, and then the beer is saying, "Don't you dare close your eyes."
I know, right?
That's the whole thing about that beer. It's just so
there's a lot of complex flavors and layers going on in there.
There's so much to unpack, and then it would stand to reason that would happen within the whiskey itself.
Exactly. So I feel like these glasses take the ethanol out of the equation and then allow you to experience the layers of flavor as you go through without being assaulted with the alcohol. And I was shocked. I was floored by the change in flavor, the way I experienced it. I'm excited to try after the show to try this in a regular shot glass versus these glasses.
Oh yeah. I'm with you, but I did want to try it out of these glasses just because I want to get as much of what you're supposed to be seeing and feeling and smelling out of it. And of course, I mean, it's a coffee liqueur. It has a coffee flavor,
sure,
but it's not super overpowering.
And it's not super sweet. It's not sticky sweet. One thing that I want to remind our viewers, a lot of distilleries have to abide by COVID rules. So going into a distillery and doing a tasting is restricted and limited in some places, depending on what their space allows. So at this particular distillery, we could not have gone inside and done a tasting. So I was lucky enough to run into them at the Sunday market in downtown Astoria. So they had a booth, open air, lots of tasting little cups. And she's like, yeah, here, you want to taste them? So I could taste several things and pick out ones that I thought you would like. Whereas if I had gone into the distillery itself, I would have been shooting blind. And I probably would have spent more than I should have because I think I might have just jumped on the chai tea vodka instead of getting to try it first, which I'm glad I didn't because it was a little much. These are my two favorites. It was a bit acrid. It was a little medicinal.
Oh, medicinal. Yeah.
A little medicinal for me. So I thought that these two you would really like. I think these would be a great mixer. They would be good alone. They'd be good for the show. I know Coy would like them too.
We might get around to this whiskey tonight. We'll see. I know I need to save this coffee liqueur for when he comes, though.
Yeah, if you don't save it for him, he will say bad things to your face.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's super good. I think it would go good. You have coffee right there. I think you see how it goes right there with the coffee. But it's epic. But again, we're sticking with our coffee bourbon theme. This is a high corn mash whiskey, but it's made in a bourbon style.
And you know what? Let's talk about this coffee liqueur a little bit more.
It's a little thick and hazy.
Well, yeah, you can tell that it's literally been aged with coffee. And actually, there's a little note here from Columbia River Coffee Roasters. So I like that they're using local products.
That's really
in
important.
Their local products. Yeah, it's during this time with the Corona stuff, it's so important to be
supportive of our local businesses.
I was going to say celebrating. So apparently I've had too much to drink already.
Well, the collaboration is really, really good. They're on a massive, major international port. So a lot's coming through there. There's a ton of breweries, well, that's the only distillery, but ton of breweries. I don't know how many coffee houses there were.
I'm a little shocked I haven't had anything from Pilot House. Not that I know of.
Yeah, I guess I haven't seen it in this area. It just depends on their reach. But, it's like 3 dudes making it. But they distill it there. They make their mash there, or their wort. Sorry, not their mash.
Right.
Wrong beverage. But I just had a lot of respect for them. So they also have a place in Portland. So they're like, hey, kind stranger, we've been roasting up small batches of coffee. All about small batch, totally there. Including our unique Thunder Muck blend for coffee lovers near and far since their inception in 1992, which I think 1992, these guys been around.
Dang.
Found on the North Oregon coast by 4th generation Norwegian Tim Hurd and 20 years.
I'm sorry, did you just say Norwegian?
Norwegian. I love you. You have to sleep next to me. 20 years of whatever. Relationship-oriented quality coffee, carefully sourced and roasted to order. We're so excited to collaborate with Pilot House Distilling for this delicious 3 E's coffee liqueur recipe. Swing by the roaster if you're in Astoria or look us up online. Columbia River Coffee Roasters.com. So just want to pimp a local product. I really want to support our local businesses because COVID has can I say fucked our small businesses?
Oh yeah. Things are ugly here.
Yeah.
I should have known that we would be getting drunk on this episode. This happens all the time.
It's your fault.
Hey, speaking of reach, after I came back from Portland over the weekend, I was consulting for some clients, and I had a little run-in with some of the people that are gathering in the downtown Portland area.
A little run-in with people gathering.
Anyway, so on my way home, I decided to stop by the Cabela's and just kind of poke around. I have
words about this, which he does not want me to say.
No, I don't. So you can keep them to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So
I was worried for your safety.
I come into Cabela's, and they have got a special on. $249 for a Savage Axis XP. And you can get it in a whole bunch of different calibers. Comes with a scope, a 9-power scope. It's not a great scope. It's I think it's a 3 to 9 power by 40. So, I mean, the field of view is very small.
Not exactly a carry weapon.
No. And
which you could have used this weekend.
Not exactly a long distance weapon either, because again, this is literally the cheapest hunting rifle that they had at Cabela's, and by a mile, by $100, the cheapest rifle that they had. And even then, the cheapest rifle you get into after this one was the Youth 22 calibers.
Youth 22. Wow.
Yeah. So I went ahead and grabbed one of these things.
Cheapest Cabela rifle challenge ever.
It is. And the reason why I'm bringing this up,
impressed,
is because Cory Ann grew up in a family of distance shooters, and actually she is an incredibly good shot herself. Me, not so much. We're inviting a friend of ours that shot expert his entire time in the military, which it was kind of hilarious to me, because the guys at Cabela's were talking about how that really means nothing. Like, a lot of people are crap shots that were shooting expert in the military. Now, we both know Ryan, and we already know that, like, he's not, he shot that, and what that means is he was, what that means for a normal person is you hit, I think, 36 out of 40 targets.
Oh, okay.
But he was 40 out of 40. He was actually, he was telling me a story about how he had to spend a couple of weeks with a different company, and they went for a target day, and he got 39 out of 40.
Oh,
and they were like, pissed. Oh, hey, great. He made them let him reshoot. I mean, he argued it until his CO was finally just like, whatever, fuck it. Go and do whatever you want.
I would not want to get in an argument with Ryan.
No.
He is tenacious.
Yeah, he has the tenacity of, what would you say, a mongoose?
Wolverine.
Ooh, Wolverine. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
He has the tenacity of one of the rats in our goat house. Anyways.
So no, they're just brazen assholes.
Yeah.
And they scared your mom.
Well, anyone out there, just like Ryan. So anyone out there who is a regular listener of the show, by the way, you're going to recognize the name Aaron Samuelson. He's over at the 4x4 podcast. Coy's been making a few appearances over there. He is having a long range private target shoot. And I didn't really have anything that could reach out that far. I have a 33rd lever action, just a cowboy gun.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get something that could reach out a little bit. And then once I saw this on sale, I just thought, hold on, this is fantastic.
Cheapest Cabela's gun, long distance shoot. There for it, baby. I want to do this too. Can I come too?
Well, of course, you're going to be the one shooting it.
Wait, I am?
Yeah, I'm not nearly good enough shot.
I didn't know I'm doing
this.
I
won't be able to do it service.
Do I get ribs when we're finished?
Sure, yeah. Of course.
Yes, I'll do anything for ribs. Your
ribs.
Yes,
you will. Pork ribs.
Your ribs. Not other people. Your ribs.
She loves my hog.
Hey, phrasing.
Yeah. I like your meat in my mouth. Well rubbed.
Yes, exactly.
A little spicy.
And wet and saucy.
No saucy. I just like a dry rub.
Okay, Ben Shapiro, calm down.
Oh, no.
So anyways, getting us back on track. Aaron has a target shooting area set up. It's 100 yards, 200 yards, 400 yards.
Okay.
I was talking to the guys at the gun counter at Cabela's.
Okay.
And I was saying to him, what do you think? Like, how far is this going to shoot? One of the guys was saying, if you're trying to keep a 12-inch grouping,
okay,
you could probably do 650 yards.
Oh, so it should be fine.
I don't know. I think that's quite optimistic, to be honest with you. We're only going out to 400 yards. I'm trying to decide what we want as a target. I'm thinking an 8-inch grouping with 5 shots.
Okay.
What do you think?
That's doable. So when I went hunting with my dad, it was slightly okay, it wasn't legal the first time I went hunting, let's be honest. I was maybe 15, 14. And it was an antelope hunt.
If anybody asks, just tell them that I shot it. That kind of thing. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. My first hunt was when I was 14. I met you when I was 18. Let's go with that. But I think it was a 300-yard shot. But the thing about antelope is they'll run, and they're kind of like rabbits or goats. They'll run and they'll stop and they'll look at you and see if you're still coming. And that's when you take your heart shot. So that's what he told me. It was just like, okay, they're running, wait till they stop, and that's when you take your shot. And it went well, and I was raised with, you take one shot and you're done. If you can't do it in one shot, then it's too cruel and you have no business shooting. So that was how I was raised. That's how I was trained. And antelope was my first animal that we went hunting on. And as you know, I make good antelope.
Yes, you do.
So elk, same way. So I think 400 yards or less is perfectly reasonable. I would like to spend some time shooting and sighting in. So we need to.
Yeah, we got the laser bore sight. That's going to get us close, but it's not going to be perfect.
I think it'll be good. Yeah. How many shots do we get to make our group?
Well, 5 shots.
Oh, only 5 shots. Okay.
Yeah, but you're going to get. I'm not saying. I'm just saying, like, once we actually sit down and we go, okay, these are the ones that are counting. Oh. Now we'll blast through a couple of boxes, no doubt.
Okay, good. That's good to know. Yeah. I didn't know what the protocol was at this particular private shoot.
Oh yeah, no. There's not going to be very many people there, so we will be shooting a whole bunch.
Nice.
Justin says he wants to try your antelope.
So Justin,
hold on.
Hey, phrasing.
Justin, my antelope. Okay. So couple of tips on antelope. If antelope is in, or if they have access to like hard red winter wheat or getting into some alfalfa fields, you're going to have a sweeter meat. That's what she said. So that meat may not need to be deseasoned. Antelope can be gamey. I don't mind the gamey. I've been eating it since I was a small child, so I'm used to it. But if you don't like the gamey compared to, feedlot beef, it's really different. You can soak it in milk overnight or at least a couple hours. I don't really mind it. So I like to do a Worcestershire, what he said, sauce. And I like to enhance that spicy gamey, especially if you're in like a high elevation plateau where they're eating sage, they're eating wild grasses, they're eating some pine, they're eating some, like especially pinyon pine, they're going to have a little more spice. So let's just roll with it. So I like to put oregano and pepper and some garlic in that and let it marinate for a couple of hours. And then I cook venison rare. Some people have an issue with rare and they're just wrong. So I like to cook it rare, just a couple minutes on each side. You want it pink in the middle. If you overcook venison, it's like chewing on your shoe. Just throwing that out there. But Worcestershire sauce, I think, brings a lot of flavors that I feel enhance an antelope or a deer steak or any cut of deer or steak, deer or antelope together. I feel like that's a good combo sauce for me. Elk is a little more towards the buffalo beef side of the flavor spectrum. So that, you could do a bourbon infusion. And then I would talk about getting out to your vacuum sealer and doing a bourbon infusion into your elk steak. So hit me up, Justin, if you want some good wild game recipes. I was raised on wild game. That's what I learned how to cook on. And I can give you some great tips.
Hot damn. We are getting the full meal deal here.
But I think the shoot's going to be really cool. I think it's going to be exciting. I think we should talk to them about whether or not we want to bring some pulled pork. I think it'd be awesome to do a shoot. I don't know if we want to show up early and just run the smoker. We could have producer Nick
Smokin
in the smoker and then do the shoot.
Well, we had talked to Aaron about the possibility of doing. Well, actually, he had talked to us about the possibility of doing something barbecue related.
I think we should do it.
We will see. We will see, because I mean, we gotta make sure that the focus is on the shoot. You know what I mean?
Sure. I'm a little floppy over here. Sorry, my microphone just died.
No, keep talking.
I think the focus can be on the shoot. We can just have Nick manning the smoker. And I think, honestly, I haven't had pulled pork in a while. I'm kind of missing your meat, babe.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
We had so much there for a while, and I thought you'd be sick of it.
Sweetheart, you're a good cook. How hard do I have to say this? You cook good. Your meat is good. You do good things with your meat. And, in all the levels, public and private.
Okay, fair enough. You heard it here, folks. I think it's time to move on to my favorite segment of the show, by the way.
Okay. I'm going to pour you some whiskey, so drink your booze. Chug it.
You might need some booze for this one.
Drink it up.
I'm dead serious. You might need some booze for this one.
I want you to get a corn mash heavy whiskey from Pilot House Distillery in Astoria. Yours is neat. Mine has a little ice in it.
Okay. All right.
Do it.
We're doing it.
Smokin Deal or Smokin Adobe.
I hope that picked up on that end. I don't know if it did or not. We're going to try it one more time.
Deal or Smokin Adobe.
Did you hit the button?
Smokin Deal or Smokin Adobe. This is my favorite segment. You know that, right?
Yes. I know you love this one.
I do. Today, this one, if Coy was here, he would be angry. I'm just going to put that out there.
I'm already angry. I hate these cars. You picked a car I hate too. I hate this car. Oh, bad choices were made by everyone on this car. It's terrible.
So this is a 2002 Chrysler PT Cruiser limited sport wagon.
No, it's not.
Well,
nothing is sporty about this.
Yeah, no, there is nothing sporty about that. Let me go ahead and read the description here. Clean title, 130,000 miles. It is an automatic transmission.
Because Grandma drove it.
Non-turbo.
Of course.
It's got a backup camera, trunk cargo cover, trunk Corgo. And hey, maybe they had corgis. And it has a trunk Corgo cover.
The Corgi would be the only redeeming quality.
Hun, it has heated seats.
Oh, okay, that's nice. Butt warmers.
Combination of leather and cloth interior.
I hate leather.
Yeah, you kind of do, don't you?
Yeah, I do. It's stupid. It's hard to clean and easily damaged.
This thing, I have no idea what kind of body kit is on it, but it has got the most atrocious body kit.
Why would you do that? It kind of looks like a hearse and a Honda made a baby.
Yeah, and then that baby had a baby with a Dyson vacuum.
Oh, it's terrible. I don't even like it. And
check this out.
And I'm a chick.
This has the scissor doors like a Lamborghini.
Why? Why? Tell me why. Was this an option? Was this on purpose?
No, I mean, somebody had to add it later on.
Oh, fuck.
I am in love with this car. So they have the metallic.
You're in love with this car? You need to drink your whiskey.
I love to hate it. That's why I like it.
This is terrible.
It's got these chrome wheels, but somehow the chrome wheels almost look stock sized.
No.
So, honey, imagine if the chrome wheels were big enough to fill the wheel well.
They look like a colander.
But instead of being big enough to fill the wheel well, they're tiny. Do you see the fender gap around those?
I don't like it. Drink your whiskey. Something needs to dull the pain of looking at this picture.
Well, I need some kind of commentary from you, not just ree.
It looks like a colander with rubber bump stops. Legit. Like I want to, I don't know, wash the potatoes out of my garden in those wheels.
All right, fair.
They're terrible.
I'm noticing some red brake calipers as well. Some in the back anyway.
What's the front? What's the point of the front clip? Like, are you going to just run flat on into the safety little like traffic bump stops?
Doesn't that kind of look like a plow to you?
It does look like a plow. Maybe they want to just push the snow for their neighbors around. Why would you do that?
This thing. Oh, and it's got some glow inside.
Who owned this? An Asian? I'm sorry, that was terrible. Jesus, forgive me. I take it back.
Wow. somebody that's way into the Fast and the Curious.
Yeah, something. Why would you put blue glow lights inside a PT Cruiser? Is this a mom mobile? Oh, and they can turn orange. Wait, go back. I have to talk about this. Why is there orange lights in the back seat? Why? Are those like warning lights? Mom's about to reach into the back and smack a kid?
Somebody was very proud of this vehicle.
Somebody had too much, disposable income. What is that? What is that little like running board thing going on down there?
Well, that's a
What's the
ground
point
effects kit. That's a body kit.
Why? What does that do? Make you go faster? No.
Are you noticing that there's nothing on the bumper? I mean, it has
Are
a
you
different
noticing
bumper,
this
but
is
it doesn't really
nothing?
match.
No, it's smooth, but there's like ripples. It's like you go from like an angry river flow to a smooth, glassy lakefront. None of this makes any sense. This car makes no sense. It says limited. Yeah, should be thrown over a cliff limited. I don't like anything about this car. I have ridden in a PT Cruiser and I have driven a PT Cruiser. My aunt had a PT Cruiser. It was fine. I was in high school, whatever. Didn't know what I was doing. It was safe and slow and stagnant and had delayed everything. Why does the body kit make you go faster? I don't know.
No, it's just to look cool.
It doesn't look cool. And I'm a girl. That doesn't look cool. I wouldn't buy that.
So I have some bad news out here, fellas. We have a woman on the show, and she is telling you to eat shit and pound sand if you like body kits on your vehicles.
Body kits that don't match and do nothing.
So, I mean, it's at any price, this would not be.
I wouldn't buy this. I would crash this for the insurance money.
If it was like $100?
No, 1,000. I'd crash this for $1,000.
No, but that's not how this game works.
I would bail out.
You have to tell me what this car actually is worth to you. So they're wanting $3,300 for this.
They're full of shit.
They're obviously not going to get that.
Is this a parts car?
I'll tell you right now, a PT Cruiser, even in good condition, is going to fetch about $1,500. This one, because it has the body kit and stuff on it.
They have an inflated personality disorder. I would give them $900 for this and use it as a parts car for my aunt.
I'm trying to think.
Because the body kit is useless.
Well, yeah. See, I would say that I would spend $1,500 on it, but then you have to think about the labor to take off that god awful body kit.
It's an awful body kit.
The only thing that would be fun to do with this car is
ram it into a wall.
Well, it would be fun to buy it for like one of those dirt circle track days where they're doing the figure 8 demolition derbies.
So other people would crash into it?
Yeah.
And destroy it?
Yeah.
That I can see.
Yeah, I think I'm about $700 on this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's smoking a doobie all the way. A big fat like stems and seeds doobie.
Confirmed, smoking a doobie. I don't have my outro set up because producer Nick is not here, so we're just gonna call it a ubiquitous doobie.
Yeah, 100%. Like on the same page, baby.
Yep.
That's not coming home.
I knew you were gonna throw that in there. No, you can't buy it.
No, I hate it. It doesn't even have nice trunk space. Like I can't be like unsupervised at Hobby Lobby with that car. It does me no good.
You know what they say, can't shop, won't shop.
No. No. There's no way you could go like hit up all of the yard sales and do any good with that car. I can't. There's no way I could fit like a breakfast buffet in that.
Well, here's what people would do. You'd pull up in it and they'd be like, hi.
Yeah,
Ooh.
they would tell me to leave. They'd give me like $1.50 to leave their yard sale.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even let me take their like dinged and bad looking bar stools.
You know who would love this vehicle?
Your mom.
Those felons that I was talking about that had those Civics.
Right. Because they think that body kit would make them faster and like restore their childhood dreams.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because meth didn't do it.
And on that note, I think it's time to take this thing out. Cory Ann, thank you for joining me.
You're welcome. I hope I channeled Coy enough for you.
Maybe more so. We need you to dial it back next time.
Oh, okay. I'll be nicer next time.
You guys out there, thanks so much for joining us. Make sure you check out our live stream, facebook.com/BoostBoostBBQ. The YouTube is Boost Boost BBQ. Twitch is Boost Boost BBQ. And of course, check us out on all of your favorite podcasting sites. So for Cory Ann, this is Andy. We will see you next time.